All right, welcome back to Genius. So this is about day 13, and we'll be talking about operators and expressions in JavaScript. So we'll be taking a look at the arithmetic operators, the comparison operators, the logical operators, the ternary. So make sure that you read the Eloquent JavaScript chapter 2. Also read the Docket chapter 3. So at the end, you'll be practicing a calculator because we'll be doing more of arithmetic and comparison operators. Yeah. Okay. So what are operators and expressions? Operators are special symbols that perform operations on values. Now, these values are called operands. Okay. Operands are variables. They can be literal values. They can be expressions too. Okay. So every data type has particular set of operations that can be performed on that data type. When you come to an integer, you can perform arithmetic operations. When you come to a string, you can perform concatenation, you can perform other operations on it. When it comes to Boolean operation, every single data type have different operations you can perform on them. So these operators are the symbols, the special symbols that we use to perform these operations. So an expression is just a combination of values and operators that evaluate to a result. Expression is a combination of values and operators that evaluate to a result. I want to throw more light on this expression before we can go on to operators. Let me show you. Expression is anything, any value. Expression is any value, anything that can evaluate to a value is expression. Is an expression. Maybe, okay, to explain what I'm doing here, let me show you what I mean. Anything that can be evaluated. So if I open the node repo, all right, see, if I say 3, 3 is a literal number. It's a value, it's a literal value. So this value is an expression. It can be evaluated by JavaScript runtime, and if you hit enter, it has done the evaluation. If I say 3 plus 8, this is an expression. In this case now, this expression contains an operand on the left-hand side. Maybe I should zoom. Okay, I believe you can see what I'm doing here. All right. So now this particular expression now has a value on the left-hand side and a value on the right-hand side, and also has an operator. So expression can be just a single literal value. Of course, this can be evaluated, and this can also be an expression. It can be as long as it can be. Now this one contains two operands and an operator. So the left-hand side of this plus operator has 3, which is the left-hand value, the left operand, and this one, the right hand side, is also an operand. So this is an expression like this. So anything that can be evaluated, even variable. Now, if I say let ax is equal to 90, all right, this is if I now go on and say x in this case is a variable, it's an expression. You can see that if I hit enter, JavaScript has evaluated it. So anything that can be evaluated, it can be a single value, it can be a combination of operators and operands. All right, it can just be more. It can be more. I can say s plus 9 divided by 9 plus 8. This is an expression too. And you can see at the end of the day, it has been evaluated by JavaScript, and we got 99. So this is an expression. So expression can just be a literal value like this, or it can be a combination of operands and operators, or it can even be a variable like this, or it can be something like this. Okay. So, all right. I think. Okay. So now, an expression is a combination of values and operators that evaluates to a result. It's not just only combination of values and operators. It can just be a value, just one value or more, or even a variable. So example is like this. Though this is an expression, an arithmetic expression, all right, which has operands. 5, 3, and 2 are the operands. Plus and multiplication are the operators. So you can have multiple operators and multiple operands in an expression. You can just have one single operand, which can be a literal value, which can be a variable, all right, that can be evaluated. So we have arithmetic operators. Most of these, you know them. You used to perform basic mathematical operations. We have the plus, the minus, the division, the multiplication, the division, you know. You know, the modulus, all right, gives you the remainder. I don't know if some of you have met this modulus, but you get this modulus by a control by no shift 5. That's that percentage symbol. That percentage symbol. So if I go on to my REPL again, I don't know if clear works here. Okay. Um, really, I've forgotten how to exit from. I'm sorry, I've forgotten how to clear. Mm, no wahala. I just have to open a new one. I will close this one and I'll open a new terminal. Okay. So, all right. So now I can say 10 modulus 4. You can see it gives me the remainder. This is 10 modulus 4 will give you 2 remainder 2. So it's giving me these 2 here we are saying here is the remainder. If I say 10 modulus 3, it will give me 1 because 10 divided by 3 will give me 3 remainder 1. So this modulus operator returns the remainder of the division. So 10 divided by 4 will give us 2 remainder 2. 10 divided by 3 will give us 3 remainder 1. Okay. Okay. So we have the increment and the decrement. So if I go on and say, if I go on and say, um, if I go on and say, this increment, if I go on and say, okay, I have let A equal to 6. Okay. This increment, the plus plus, the minus minus can come in two flavors. It can come as postphase. It can come as prephase. It is postphase when now look at it. If I say A plus plus, all right, and then I now type in A again, you can see it's giving me 7. What have I done here? Basically, I said with this plus plus, it will increment the value by 1. So I am saying, get the value of A, which is 6, and add 1 to it. So now we also have another, this one is post phase. We have the prephase that if you're not careful, it will blow you away. Look at what is happening here. Okay. When I did the post phase, I just got 6 back. But I was expecting 7. And later on, when I now asked for the value of A, and I got 7. So it actually incremented it. But we got 6 as the value. But look at this type. Before we did this, all right, the A is 7. And immediately we got 8. Now let's check again. Right now, our value of A is 8. So if I do A plus plus, now this is the post phase. If I hit enter, we are supposed, since the value of A is 8 right now, we are supposed, when we do plus, that means it's supposed to be 9 immediately. But if I try it, it is 8. But if I now type A, I will now get 9. So you have to be very careful with postphase and prephase of these increment values. You have to be very careful. So this thing boils down to expression evaluation. When you use the preface, look at the preface here. JavaScript will immediately evaluate and increment it right away. But when you use the postface, JavaScript will just evaluate the A. The value of A here is 8. And then after evaluation of the value of A, it will now increase it later. That is why we will now get 9. So with postface and preface, JavaScript immediately evaluates the preface and add 1 to it immediately. But for the postface, it will increase, it would evaluate A and give it that value. Then later on, after that evaluation, it will now increase it. But if you find this thing confusing, drop a question in the comment section. We can just do a live class for this alone. So if you don't understand this, what I just said about the preface and the postface of this increment operators, go to the WhatsApp group and request for a live class. Okay. Now we also have the minus minus. If I say A minus minus, the postface will still work the same way. This way, it is not, you can see it wasn't decremented immediately. But if I now type A, you can see we now get 8. But if I use the preface minus minus A, immediately we'll get 7. So I wouldn't want to go into details explaining this postface and preface. It will take a long time for us to cover it here. If you want to know more, if you're really curious about it, request for a live class in the comments in the WhatsApp group, and we'll do a live class. Okay. So we have the comparison operators. We use this to compare values. It always return comparison operators always return a Boolean value. So we have the equal. All right. So we have the double equal to. We have the double equal, and we have the triple equal. And what is the difference? Now, let's go and show you what the difference is. Okay, so I will have to kill this terminal and bring up another one. Okay, so now, let's say 4, if you want to compare two values, you want to compare, is 4 equal to 5, 6? You can see the operator here, this double equal to is called a comparison operator. All right. And then we have a whole expression here. And if we hit enter, we'll get false. What does this simply mean? 4 is 4 equal to 6? You're asking the question, is 4 equal to 6? The answer is no. And remember, anything that has to do with no is false in JavaScript. If I say is 4 equal to 4, of course, the answer is yes. So we get true. Okay. So, but what is the difference? If I say 4 triple equal to sign, we still get the same thing. If I say 4 triple equal to 6, we will still get 4. So what's the difference? The difference boils down to the type. All right. When you read the books, you will understand better. And while you're reading the books about this, if you don't understand something, drop the question in the comments in the WhatsApp group. I wouldn't spend too much time explaining too much here. But it is now with the first one, the double equal to operator doesn't check of their type. So it doesn't check of their type. Look at the difference. Now, if I say 4 equal to a string of 4, you can see it's giving us true. Look at it. But you can see that the data type is not the same. This 4 here is a number. And this other 4, because it is enclosed in double quotes, is a string. And yes, it still gave us true. Now, what if we try 4 triple equal to the same 4 string? You see, we get false. So what is the difference? With this one, all right, JavaScript does not care about the type of the operands. So whether they are it only checks for the value. So basically, what JavaScript will do is that JavaScript will convert this string to a number implicitly. We call it cohesion. All right, it will convert it to a number. So there is a type conversion with this. This one is called the loose equality operator, while this one is called the strict equality operator. So in this place, JavaScript converts this one to a number, but this place, JavaScript will not convert it to a number. So JavaScript will not do any coercion here, but JavaScript will convert this to a number. All right. So it will convert this to a number and then check their value. But here, JavaScript will not convert to a number. So here we check the value and the type. And if you see that the value is the same, but the type is not the same. So first of all, it will check for the type. Both of them does not have the same type, so they cannot be equal. But in this case, JavaScript, with this lose equality, JavaScript will first of all convert this one to the same type as this one, which will convert it to a number and then check the value. So that's the difference. Okay, so the not equal to is basically the opposite of it. So if you say, if I ask you now, is 4 not equal to? So make it a habit of using the triple equal to. Please make it a habit of using the strict equal operator. So if I say 4 not equal to 4, so you can see this is the opposite because 4 is equal to 4 and you're saying 4 is not equal to 4. All right. So if I say 4 not equal to 7, it will give me true because yes, 4 is not equal to 7. But if I say 4 not equal to 4, it's not true now. So it is false because 4 is equal to 4. So this is like the negation. Use the exclamation mark. All right. So always use the strict equality operator, both for the not equal to and the equal to. We also have the greater than and the less than. Of course, this is very simple for you to grab. Is 7 greater than 3? The answer is true because 7 is greater than 3. Is 2 less than 5? The answer is true because 2 is less than 5. All right, but if I say is 2 greater than 5, what do you think would be the answer? False, because 2 is not greater than 5. We also have the greater than or equal to. In this case, first of all, JavaScript will compare is 5 greater than, okay, let me show you with an example here. If I say 5 greater than or equal to 5, so what will JavaScript do? First of all, JavaScript will say, is 5, it will first of all check the greater than. Is 5 greater than 5? No, it's not greater than 5. It will say, okay, no problem. I will also check the second one. It will now come and go and check, is 5 equal to 5? It will say yes, so that will be true. So if it will check for this greater than, less than, or greater than equal or operators, JavaScript will check for, is it greater than, okay, and then is it less than, is it equal to? So in this case, one of them was true. So if I say is 5 greater than or equal to 10. All right, you can see, is 5 greater than 10? No, 5 is not greater than 10. Is 5 equal to 10? No, 5 is not greater than, it's not equal to 10. So since both of them are now false, the answer will be false. Okay, so but if I say is 5 less than or equal to 6, first of all, it will check, is 5 less than 6? Yes. So as long as one of them is true, it will not bother checking the second one. So once it gets true, it will return true. But if it try both of them and doesn't get true, it will return false. Okay, so that is it. We also have the logical operators. Okay, these are used to combine multiple Boolean expressions. So the AND operator, this is what we use to represent it, the ampersand, the two of them. It will return true if both operands are true. Okay, so in this case, use it to compare two Boolean expressions. So we have the AND and we have the OR. So let's go to our node repo. So this case, we are going to be checking, so we are checking two Boolean expressions. So we can get a Boolean, we can say is 4 greater than 7 and 6 less than 8. Okay, now look at it. We have two operators here. We have an operator, which is the logical AND operator, and we have two Boolean expressions here. So this is an expression and this is an expression. They must be Boolean expressions. So a Boolean expression is an expression that evaluates to true or false. So 4 greater than 7. So you will use the comparison operators. Remember, when you use the comparison operators, they will always return a Boolean value. So in this case, the left-hand side of this operator is a Boolean value and a Boolean value. So in this case, we are saying, is 4 greater than 7? No. So that's false. So when you work with the AND operator, if any of the left or right is false, the answer will be false. Both of them need to be true for the answer to be true. So let's do this. If I say true, true, and true, we will get true because this is a Boolean value. It's a Boolean expression, remember. An expression can be a single value. So this is a Boolean expression. This is a Boolean expression. So true, true will give us true. If I say true and false, we will get false. If I say false and true, we will still get false. If I say false and false, we will still get false. You can see that the only time this is true is when both of them is true. All right. So this true can just be, it can be a Boolean expression like this, or it can just be a single Boolean value like this. All right. So both right hand side, both sides of the both operands have to be Boolean expressions. So now this is for the AND. But for the OR operator, you use the double. If I say true or true, the answer will be true. So for the OR operator, all right, you only need one of the operands to be true. If I say true or false, it will give me true. If I say false or true, it will give me true. You just need one of them to be true. So in the case that you are checking for something, you say you want to check for two conditions. As a lady, your type is you want a tall, dark, and handsome guy, and they also have to be rich. So the two conditions is that they have to be tall, dark, and handsome, and they must be rich. So that is the AND operator. Normally, when you guys are growing up, when ladies are growing up, this is their preference. But when they start clocking 30, 30 something, they might like, okay, if he's ugly and he's rich, if he's ugly or he's rich, I can take him. So you are not using the OR operator. You're no longer using the AND operator, because for the AND operator, both conditions have to be true. But when you're now getting older, even the guys too, it also happens to us. All right. When you're not getting older, you'll be like, oh, okay, if she's not from a wealthy family, if she's from a wealthy family, or she has good character, I can take. Do you understand? So the OR operator says any of them will work, but the AND operator says both of them must work. All right, so that's the difference. So the NOT operator will use the exclamation mark. It will negate. If you say not true, it will be false. If you say not false, it will be true. If you say not 5 greater than 6, it will be, because 5 is greater than, it's not 5 greater than 6. If you say not, okay, sorry, I will have to put a bracket here. All right. So in this case, this expression would evaluate first before the NOT operator. So this will give us true. 5 greater than 6 is false. So when we negate the result of this expression, it will give us true. So we have the NOT operator reverses the Boolean value, the OR and the AND. All right. So the ternary operator is used when I would explain this ternary operator when we talk about the if-else statements. Because if I have not spoken about the if-else statement, I cannot explain this ternary operator very well. So in the next class, when we talk about the if-else statements, I will talk about this ternary operator, but just have it in mind that there's something called this ternary operator. Okay, I'll just keep it. So let's see example where we combine all the operators. So we have these variables A and B, and we have another variable is an adult, true. So we say let sum A plus B is an arithmetic one. Sum equal to 9 is a comparison operator. We want to now check is equal and is adult is logical. So we are using the AND logical operator here. Okay, so this is equal is a Boolean expression, is adult is a Boolean expression. So here we are using the ternary operator, but don't worry, we'll talk about it after when we talk about if-else statement. Okay, so thank you very much. Make sure you read the book. When you read these books, you expand your knowledge, you get confused, and when you get confused, you talk to us, you ask your question. When you have any question, go to the WhatsApp group, request for a live class. We'll do the live class in the night. We'll schedule a live class so that other students will join. All right, this is a boot camp. That is why we are not taking too much time to explain everything in details. All right, but you have the right to ask questions, and we'll do live classes and expand your knowledge on it. Okay, so and the project, short, the project is going to be something that will also be big. Okay, so make sure you ask your questions, read the books that we have provided, and I'll see you in the next class.